Hey, hey, SBG, solution-based gang, like, share, subscribe. Say no to rim, brothers, mothers, fear and sell no good suckers. Hype him up, hype him up. Shouts out, Sharon, Bracy, and the Wildest. Wake up, morning show, salute, big dog, shout out to the lure. PAs, Diva, salute, Brownsville, SBG, solution-based gang.
Let's go! Good day, everyone. How are we doing on this beautiful, what's today? On this beautiful Thursday. How are y'all doing? It's a beautiful day. It's nice, warm, not hot, windy. None of that. It was just a beautiful day. Sun is shining. So, like this is how we like to start the show. When I say good day to you, make sure you say good day back. Shout out. Yeah, that's what I like to see, that great productive energy. What's good, Sharon? Peace to the chat. Yeah. And that's how we got to start this thing up. Make sure y'all hit that like for the YouTube algorithm. You know what I'm saying? As we get back into things, and we got to keep pushing. We got to keep on pushing. Yeah. You got to keep on pushing on these beautiful days, man, because every day we above ground, A-Dub. Every day we above ground, we got to just keep on pushing and striving for the best. You understand? We got to keep striving for the best for ourselves and our families. We got to keep on pushing ourselves forward, because out here it's crazy out here. What's up, Genesis? Hey, sugar. Thank you so much, Genesis. She said the haters' tears make your skin look like butter. I appreciate that. What's up, Danny? Good day, man. They are attempting to silence the good folks, man. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And it's on both sides now that they're attempting to silence the good people. And we are supposed to be a country where you're supposed to be able to speak your mind. And that's why there's been so much controversy over rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, because, it is sad what happened to the man. He was spewing and pushing out a lot of false narratives. I would agree with that. It's been a lot of false narratives pushed out there. What's up, ADS? What's up, Reese? Good day to you, beautiful. There's a lot of false narratives out there, pushed out there. And it's kind of sad when you really see it and you peel back the onion. You turn this thing into a cry fest. And you see the conservative, they are just trying to manipulate and twist this situation into something that it should not be. We supposed to be pushing for freedom of speech. Yes, that's what we're supposed to be doing. We are not supposed to silence ourselves. Man, it's funny. It's funny. We live in a world where people can say anything until they do. Like, you ever notice how you got free speech, but the minute you say something that makes people uncomfortable, suddenly it's like, well, that's not free speech. That's the problem. And I'm just sitting here like, I thought I had rights. I thought we had rights. Because we got people like Say You Like Podcasts in the building, and he is somebody that he doesn't realize that he is pushing for the silence of our freedoms of speech. He don't even realize it, because as long as you are on the opposite side, he don't mind if your speech is silence. That's the issue. He don't mind. And I have a problem with my speech being silenced. As long as you're not provoking violence, you're not provoking people to move to violence, I think you should be allowed to speak your mind and your opinion. However, what we are starting to see looks like at what's been happening with people in the media lately. You've seen these firings, big names, top positions, all get booted like they were asking, for a change in a tip jar at the script club. Because we do see that a lot of these, especially the black conservatives, we see what they're doing for that dollar or the attempt to get that dollar. What's up, cuzzo? You know it's bad when they silence the white man. What up, Royce? And you know. I would drop that late shot. I just want to do I'm gonna do my little rant, and you're gonna be able to address my rant. You're gonna address my words. I don't want to hear no other stuff because I understand that the grift is real. I understand that being black and talking against black, you got to make sure you say with a K. When you talk against black while being black, it's profitable. It moves the needle. They enjoy it because you get to say the things that they want to say. And then they cheer you on. They're like, yes, now you finally speaking the truth. Sugar bum, all damn near 95% of the black conservative that's on these social media platforms are grifting. It is about 5% of black conservatives that are doing the proper thing. They are speaking the truth. They are speaking the truth. Robin M. Robin M. is so petty. Robin M. you so petty. Oh my God. Right. And all getting booted. Like they you know what I'm saying? And so all these big dogs, they are getting booted. Like they was asking for a change in the tip jar, right? So, right, we got Matthew Dowd. I think I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's a political analyst. He got fired from MSNBC. And I'm like, what did he say? What did he say? What was the big crime that he did? Please tell me, sir. Like, what did he do? He wasn't being racist. He wasn't being sexist. He wasn't even being offensive. He was just talking politics honestly. And guess what? Guess what they said? They said, you gotta go, brother. You're not on the right side of this. And I'm just sitting here like, wait, that's freedom of speech, correct? Or is that just some selective freedom? That's like, a lot of people, they have jobs. Your boss telling you, yeah, you free to say anything you want, just not in my office, not on my time, and definitely not on my network. You understand? You understand? Now, we could sit here and argue all day about the corporate side of things. See, that's the thing. Media companies are corporations, right? They got a bottom line, and they have to keep that gravy train rolling. So if you're not towing that company line well, bye-bye, you're out. That's how it goes. They're like, hey, you can have opinions, just not yours, buddy. That's what the conservatives say. They say, hey, you can have your opinion, but just not yours. You got to have the white opinion. You gotta be black, but you got to speak for or down against. You can have your opinion. You just can't verbally say it. That's what's going on out here in this world. And if you don't toe the line, you out of here. You just can't have your own, which is wild to me that they can't have their own opinion. I mean, corporations are supposed to be neutral, but If you're a human being with an opinion that doesn't fit their mold, you're out the door. That's not freedom of speech. That's just corporate branding with a side of censorship. And that's what we've been seeing lately on these YouTube streets as well. It ain't just happening in the big world. It's also happening on the YouTube world as well. Because people are recognizing how profitable it is to be on that side of the wall. You feel what I'm saying, Red to Muse? They see how profitable it is for a black person to talk about black people in this climate today. They don't want to deal with anything that is truthful. You know who else is on the list of people who's getting the boot? Her name is Karen. Hey, Karen. Sorry. Her name is Karen Attiah. She is a journalist from the Washington Post. She got opinions on race. She got opinions on identity. She's been getting at the truth. But here's the thing. She got fired because her truth did not fit the narrative they wanted to push. But here's the real kicker. How do we diverse voices? How we get this diversity of voices? But the minute someone steps up with a bold voice, we cancel them like they the wrong flavor at Baskin-Robbins. Too spicy for the crowd. I mean, you ever notice how the loudest people telling you to speak your truth are also the first ones to tell you to shut up when it gets uncomfortable? The media says speak your mind, and then the second you do, it's like, nah. They cut you off. They want to silence you. They want you to speak about it, but they're like, nah, not like that. Not like that. It's too hurtful. It's too hurtful. But what happened? I thought we were supposed to be able to speak the truth. Break down these stats, these statistics. I thought we were supposed to be getting down to the nitty-gritty of things. But when we start speaking the truth, people start twisting and making narratives about BS. Let's just be honest about what is being said and what's being conveyed to us as consumers of the media. Stop trying to silence just because it makes you uncomfortable. And don't even get me started with Gerald, I don't know how to pronounce his goddamn last name, Bourguet from the Phoenix Sports, right? He's a sports journalist, right? A dude who's supposed to just talk about basketball, football, but no, he decides to make a comment on something that just, maybe a little controversial. And now all of a sudden he got to pack his bags like, damn. Can't a brother just talk about the game without getting caught in a political crossfire? It's like if ESPN suddenly decided that it was more about the political game than the actual game. Sports used to be that one thing that we could all agree that whether you're left or right, you could sit down and watch the Super Bowl. But now it's like, do you like the Patriots or do you like work politics? You gotta pick a side or get out. And then we come into the point of what we having a conversation about. Let me make sure I drop this link. Cell said he wanted to come and join the conversation. Let me see. Let me see if he's actually willing to have a conversation. Let me see. Let me drop the link. Let me drop the link because we about to get into Jimmy Kimmel as well. Hold on. Hold on. Let me drop the link for him real quick. Because this is insane. We're going to get down to this conversation, goddammit. we're going to see if he's comfortable with coming up to the show. Because, you know, I ain't scared of no ghosts. If Cell is still there, I'll drop the link. I will post, somebody copy it and put it on the community wall or some shit. I don't know how to do the damn thing. I'm gonna figure it out. Let me finish. Let me not lose my train of thought. I'm going to put it on the community wall. So if anybody want to join the show, have a disagreement, I'm willing to have a conversation with you. I'm willing to have a conversation. Hey, if you wanna put me onto Game Kulu, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I will have to look into that because I didn't hear nothing about that. Yeah, and then you got Jimmy Kimmel, the guy who made a career out of making fun of people. That's literally his job. You ever notice how late night TV used to be just a place where you made fun of everybody? You didn't care if you were left or right, Republican or Democrat. You just, you know, everybody just took shots. But now even Jimmy Kimmel, this legend, right? He's a late night game legend. He's under fire because of his jokes. His jokes. Now they hit too hard for some folks. So now we're at a point where we're trying to figure out what's okay to joke about and what's going to get you canceled. If you can't laugh at yourself, we're in trouble. Because now we live in a world where you can laugh at yourself, but only in the right context. It's like you better bring a permission slip to every punchline. It's wild to me to really see it happening in real time. And I dropped the link. I'm gonna drop the link in. Also, I'm gonna drop it in on my community wall. I'll be dropping that shortly. So anybody want to come up and have a conversation, you can. You see what's happening. The very thing that used to make this country great, our ability to speak our minds, to disagree, to laugh, now it's all under attack. And it's not just about the media. This isn't just about MSNBC, Washington Post, and ABC, Disney, and all that. No, it ain't just about that. It's about the culture we created. We are living in an age where you can't say the wrong thing. You can't joke the wrong joke. You'll be labeled a problem. We're teaching people to shut up before they even say anything. And that, my friends, is a problem. Here's the thing. It's easy to point fingers at the corporations and the media, but at some point, we got to take a look at ourselves. We, as a society, are the ones feeding this. We are the ones who click on the headlines that say, this person says something offensive. We're the ones demanding a punishment. We're the ones who started cancel culture and then acted surprised when it bit us in the ass. Okay, BMU. I hear you. So you know what cancel culture really is, right? It's a cry for control. Everyone wants to control the narrative, to decide who gets what, when, and how. And the problem is, it's never really about the truth. This is what I've been preaching all week, even though I've been getting beat about going to other panels. I've been at the Cellulite podcast. I've been there plenty of times, and every time I'm just speaking the truth about what was said, I get attacked. I could barely get out 2 words at a time. Cellulite got to hold his goddamn dogs back. He got to hold them back. So I'm just trying to have a conversation with them and speak about words. Not about my feelings or my opinions, but about what is being said, what's being conveyed to us as consumers of the message. So it's never really about the truth. It's about who's got the most power to tell you what to think. So we get a bunch of people sitting in high places controlling what's going on TV, what you hear on the radio, and who gets to keep their job. And they decide what you can say, what you can believe, and what's acceptable in the world. But here's the thing, free speech, man. Free speech isn't just about saying what everyone agrees with. It's about saying something people don't want to hear. It's about pushing boundaries. It's about giving that middle finger to the establishment and saying, I'm going to speak my truth. And if you don't like it, tough titty. Comedians especially, that's what they was known for. They were supposed to be the ones that pushed the boundaries. What's up, Ignorant? Comedians have one of the hardest jobs in the world when it comes to this media situation. They're supposed to make you laugh, but they're not supposed to offend anybody. They're supposed to speak truth to power, but only if it's wrapped in a bow tie of politeness. Like, what happened? Just making jokes about everything. What happened to just making jokes about everything? What happened to pushing the line? What happened to saying things that make people uncomfortable so they can think about the world a little differently? If we start policing that, where does it end? The truth is, freedom of speech is only free when it's uncomfortable. When it's uncomfortable, that's when you know it's real. But if we keep pushing people into corners where they feel like they can't say what they really think, then what we're left with isn't freedom of speech. It's just a bunch of talking heads saying exactly what they were told to say, wearing the same damn suits, same damn hats. And that's not the country I want to live in. I'm sorry. That's just not. So here's what I want you to think about. If we really want to protect free speech, we have to start being comfortable with the uncomfortable. It's time to stop canceling people for speaking their truth and start getting comfortable with the fact that sometimes the truth hurts. That was my, yeah, hear me. And that's the truth of the matter. Let me see. Now I got to figure out how we're gonna drop this link. Hold on. I got y'all. Hold on. Let me see. This is what I could do. If y'all want to hit the link, please do. This is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna drop the link in my community wall. So anybody want to join the panel? Post. All right. There we go. So it's posted up on my community wall. So anybody that want to join the panel, you can easily just hit that link, join the panel. And that's very true, Haitian. A lot of people cannot enjoy constructive criticism. They just want to hear. They just want to go to places where they could just, collect a bias and say, "Hey, I knew." They want to confirm it. They don't want to actually push out nothing thought-provoking. They just heard somebody else that they believe is in some kind of power dynamic, and they just want to go ahead and regurgitate what that person is saying instead of thinking on their own and being honest about the information that they're seeing. We'll see it. We see it. They always tell me to come to their show, but guess what? As soon as I drop a link, nowhere to be found. Make sure y'all double tapping the screen, hit the like button. We got to hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate that, A-Dub. I'll make sure I pay attention to that. And we'll see if anybody's willing to hop on here and have a conversation so we can debate about it. We'll see what's going on. Hold on. We got my brother. I know this is him. I'll put it up anyway. I ain't seen him in a long time. Let me see. How do I do this now? They done changed up everything on this goddamn. Okay. All right. There we go. Let me make sure that's my brother. Kulu, that's you?
Yes, sir. What's up, Sharon? What's up?
Hey,
what's up?
What it do, man? What is your thoughts? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, man. Just got off work, chilling with the wife, about to watch some movies and shit. But I saw you live, man, and I don't know if we would disagree on a lot, but we do have a lot of similar opinions and thoughts. I just wanted to, I guess expound a little bit on what I've been seeing and noticing. You're exactly right, man. It's like now all of a sudden, right, they don't care about free speech. When I say they, I mean the people that were talking about free speech back during COVID, back during, the Biden administration. And, I'm more center, I don't lean left or right. I voted as an independent, but I'm starting to see the hypocrisy on the right. And I watched your live with, Angry Man and Cellulite and Raw B. And, they both made some good points. You made some great points as well, but I definitely think they're missing the bigger picture about what's going on. But as I wanted to say this, man, hey, hold on, Bubba. Let's go hang out with Mama real quick. Okay. As what I wanted to say this is that as I'm starting to notice that now all of a sudden they don't care about free speech. Now all of a sudden, they want to ban or they want to censor or they want to cancel or they want to fire people. And it's like didn't y'all complain during COVID about people being fired for misinformation or from a different opinion? Now all of a sudden, what's the change? Why all of a sudden, now y'all want people fired for not even making jokes about Charlie Kirk or about his situation. Now all of a sudden y'all want everybody fired, and it's it's crazy to me. But I get it, because the whole entire time they were claiming, they care about free speech. It was a lot, it was all a ploy, a political tactic to get people to vote for that side. When in reality, whenever they came to power, I mean, I kind of knew that this was going to take place, that they were going to use any opportunity, any death, any disaster, anything to, take away freedoms, take away rights, and to put their, agenda into place. And this wasn't a surprise to me, you know what I mean, at all. And it's only going to get worse, to be honest with you. But what I can say for all the MAGA folks, for anybody that, supports this, just know if the left or the Democrats or somebody that you don't like gets into office, don't be mad when they do the same thing back, if not worse. Don't be mad when y'all set the presidents and y'all open Pandora's box and the next president, who happens to be Democrat or whoever, comes in and now they start arresting, like individuals and stuff like that, or they start firing individuals. Like, y'all can't be upset when the tides turn,
Yeah, I agree. That was I love that. That was a great observation. I'm glad you got out your foot. Let me make sure this is my brother. That's you, my brother. That's you, MAGA Will. Let me make sure that's him, because he under some other thing. I don't know this. That's you. Let me hear your voice. You muted. That's the best you ever sounded.
Okay, what about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I can hear you.
All right.
That sounds like you. Yeah, so yeah, Kulu, yeah, I agree. If they don't realize that they are the main ones that was crying about freedom of speech and that their words is being silenced, and then now they are pushing for that very thing, getting people fight just because they are opposing the current administration. It's not going to get better. It's going to get worse, in my opinion, because now it's going to keep going back and forth of people using their political power. And we understand that Trump, he is very vocal about using his political power to make people move towards his direction. He said, I would stop funding. He looks like, like this is wild and crazy. We see him suing different platforms for supposedly misinformation, even though he does the most misinformation. So it's going to get interesting as we keep on moving forward. Welcome also to the show, MAGA Will. What's your thoughts?
Salutations. I'm just coming in on the back end, so I'm just catching up on what y'all was talking about. I was on a business call, and by the way, Sharon, when we get down here, I really need to speak to you after you get off stream about something very important for both of us. All right. So, but yeah, I'm just coming in on the back end. I kind of a little bit of what y'all was talking about, but can you kind of catch me up with where we at right now?
Okay, so me and Kula are going to bring you up to speed. Kula is doing a really good job of explaining the problem with what is happening in this current time of freedom of speech starting to be impeded on, because this is what we starting to see. Things like Jimmy Kimmel, somebody that is paid to actually tell jokes, and then now he's getting fired for telling a joke. He didn't say anything racist or anything like that. He just told a joke, maybe distasteful, but a joke nonetheless. You cannot fire off on every joke that you get every single time. You're going to have some acquired taste jokes if you're on the show every single night.
And you know what? I just got into a very verbal back and forth with a family member of mine earlier about that today. And the best way I can explain it is this. I don't agree that Jimmy Kimmel should be fired.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to tell you why I don't agree that Jimmy Kimmel. Do you remember this comic?
This is really you?
Yeah, it's me.
Okay.
But do you remember this comic by the name of Patrice O'Neal?
I never watched none of his stuff, but I heard of his name.
All right, Patrice O'Neal always defended comedy. And there was a very salacious joke that was said, and a lot of people was upset about it. And Patrice O'Neal was one of the very few comics that stepped up and said, I'm a comic, and I defend the position of comedy. The joke may have been bad, but it's still a try. But we also are talking about the political arena, people's emotional temperatures when it's surrounding this particular subject of Charlie Kirk. Now, when it comes down to Jimmy Kimmel, he tried a joke, and I get it. But you have to understand, outside of the political arena, Jimmy Kimmel is a representative of networks, and he's also been a representative and hosting different shows and all this, that, and the other. So from the way that is looking right now, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because those networks and those shows that he was hosting didn't want to be embarrassed because of his antics. And I think that's a policy issue, not a policy as far as political. I think that's a company policy issue. So if I was Jimmy Kimmel, I would sue. Just me personally.
Wow. Kula, what you think about that statement about that? I got to really think about this. Go ahead, Kula.
It's very fair and consistent perspective right there from like Michael Will right there. I was low-key shocked. I thought, he was going to go the opposite, but I agree with him, completely. I think that, if the companies have a right to fire who they want, and if you do make a bad joke, then, if the director or if the owner or whoever it is that makes that decision is like it, then they got the right to fire you. You know what I mean? Do I think people should be fired for jokes? No, but obviously if they're inciting violence, if they're calling people to commit crimes and stuff like that, then that's a different story. You know what I mean? But do I think you should have been fired? No, but I understand the circumstances around like the company, what is it, ABC, the lawsuits with Trump and the FCC and all that stuff. So I get, they want to save their ass and they want, like the heat to die down and shit like that. So
well, I can tell you like this. I read did y'all read the statement from the network about Jimmy?
Yeah, I read it. It was bullshit.
It was, and it was, to me, it was bullshit because as you read through it, what they pretty much saying is Jimmy has to apologize.
That was.
And my thing is this, right? Now, the teachers, that's a different story. You have a different responsibility because you have direct connection and correlation to people's children. You are a teacher. Jimmy, he's a late night comic. And we all know that there's been tons of jokes that has been just bad, or as is known in the comedy world, they bomb. You see what I'm saying? So when it comes down to Jimmy, Jimmy shouldn't have been fired. But if I was Jimmy, I'd be like, oh, I'm fired? Bet. My lawyer be calling you motherfuckers very soon.
And I'm very surprised and shocked about this balance comments that you are having today, because for the last week it seemed like that you was very strong on one side of the road instead of leaning towards the middle. It's like you was really stuck on the right hand side of things, and anything that they do on that side was correct instead of getting a little bit more balance. And so I wanted to hear, what is your thoughts on JD Vance as well? And I'm gonna get to you in a second, Conscious Moron. On JD Vance is now calling the far left extremists and terrorists. What is your thoughts on him saying that out loud to the America's public?
So I do know that Antifa has just been labeled and I'm also, be careful with that T word. YouTube is still flagging. So Antifa has been labeled a T organization, and y'all should know what T organization means. So I've been saying for years that groups where they are participating in violence and propaganda, I would label them as that, such as Black Lives Matter. I would label Black Lives Matter as a T group, and the reason that I would do that is because they antics switched up. It went from just peaceful protest to where now we're causing destruction, we're causing chaotic riots and all this, that we're attacking people and all this, that, and the other. So when it comes to Antifa, they themselves specifically, they try to act like a militia, and they specifically target people. Like, for instance, the Proud Boys. I don't have a problem with the Proud Boys being listed or labeled as a T organization. But if you're going to label the Proud Boys as a T organization, what is Antifa? They should be a T organization as well, because they organize, they weaponize, and they propagandize. I think it should be equal all the way across the board.
What about MAGA then?
What are who?
The only problem I have is that they didn't radicalize. So things like the Proud Boys or the Christian nationalists, they are radicalizing people, right? They are pushing people to have hatred. So I think what you said was good, and I think you just can't forget about the radicalization of the people as well, right? They're taking advantage of people that do not have the same brain power to understand the difference between agreeing with a political point and then actually taking to bear arms against a political point.
Correct. And the thing is, what most people won't do within the conservative party or within the conservative method or the Republican Party is they won't look in the mirror and say, if we can say that far left extremism, which is woke, liberalism, Antifa and all this, that, and the other, we can call them a T organization or we can call them a cult. But the truth of the matter is, when you look on the right side, you can say, hey, there's tons of militia groups. There's tons of people who practice different methodologies of how they spread propaganda. So is it not a cult as well? So the truth of the matter is, to have a cult, you must have a what? A leader, right? That's a question.
Yes.
All right, cool. So right now, who's the leader of the free world? That would be Donald J. Trump, right?
Interesting.
So when Joe Biden was in office, is it fair to say that a far left extremism was cultish?
But it wasn't.
You had to pinpoint the extreme leftism that was going around, because
so
right now we have people getting fired. We have people literally going crazy, and people that's clearly going to be something. We're going to find out what's wrong with this guy,
right?
Tyler. Eventually, we're going to see what's wrong with him, right? Clearly, he has some kind of problems.
So when we look at what is the tenets of what makes a cult,
right? So what I'm trying to get to understand is, like, so they popped a shot at Trump. They popped a shot at
no. That's just stupidity. That's just stupidity. We look at the tenets of what makes a cult: compelling speech, dictatorship control, fascism, and I can't remember the last one, but I'm gonna just stick with those three.
Okay. So the group willing to do whatever the person says and believe whatever they say as well.
There you go. There it is. Well, that's more so dictatorship. Dictatorship, authoritarianism. That's what the last one was. So when you look at right now as it stands within the current state of America that we're in right now, it would seem like everyone's bending the knee for Trump.
Okay.
Would you agree?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Now,
so Trump is the cult leader.
No.
It's as of right now. If we go with all the things that is listed,
no. He's I'm speaking from the position of the left. Trump looks like a cult leader, but that does not make him a cult leader. But if we are going to be from the left, we're going to call Trump a cult leader, right? Now, let me flip the mirror around. When we flip the mirror around, I just want you to think from the position of a conservative for just a second. During Biden's administration, our speech was compelled, our actions was compelled. We could lose our jobs if we did not participate in woke ideology. Our children was having ideology forced upon them in their schools, and they was being taught. Well, this is your platform, so I'll be careful. They was being taught ethics and things about changing their gender without the parents' consent. And if we was to speak out against that, you would get canceled. So, and the leader of that political party was Biden. So right now, the complaints that the left have, oh, MAGA is a cult. Don't you think during Biden's administration, we were saying the same thing?
No, the reason why y'all can't say that is because we question Biden and y'all never question Trump. That's the difference. That's what makes y'all a cult and not us. Like, we will hold Biden's feet to the fire. Remember when he was messing up? We got rid of him.
Well, hold on for a second. Conscious moron. Here's the beautiful thing about what you said. He's right, but here's the beautiful thing about what he said. The first thing you have to understand is, when did woke culture begin? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. Do y'all know the answer to that?
So the problem with
Marcus Garvey.
So the 1930s.
Yeah.
The problem is that, like, we keep we trying to make it a narrative. Woke just mean aware.
Oh, thank you. That's the point. That's why I'm bringing it up, Sharon. So in the 1930s, woke was about radical discrimination, which was based on racism against black folks. This was in the 1930s. Somewhere in like 2016, 2017, the woke agenda changed when it became, and I'm protecting your platform by saying this, but the Rainbow Coalition. If you go look at the Rainbow Coalition and how they adopted the black fight, and they pushed all of the black agenda to the side to strictly focus on the rainbow agenda, what they did was they removed your blackness and made you assimilate to the Rainbow Coalition. So even as a black person and a part of the Democratic Party, if you speak out against the woke agenda, they would cancel you.
So, but when you say Rainbow Coalition, what you mean by rainbow?
LGBTQIA plus.
No, so that's not what the Rainbow Coalition was.
Talking about Jesse Jackson Road Rainbow Coalition.
Well, only reason I'm saying Rainbow Coalition because I don't want to say that. I would say it on my channel. I don't want to say it on his channel.
No, he's just using it as an acronym.
So
the gay agenda.
The Rainbow Coalition was about all different nations getting together.
There you go.
Brown,
Yes.
Chinese and all those other things. It wasn't nothing about sexuality back when they first started.
Yes, but it evolved in 2017. So that's why I'm saying they adopted the black fight and they put it behind the Rainbow Coalition. Again, I don't want to call it the gay coalition, or you know what I say on my show. I say some pretty salacious things. But
I think Trump lumped that all together. I think he started using that word woke, like you said, back in 2016, 2017, because before that, it just mean like stay aware. But when he lumped in it, and he knows he's a great orator, and he knows how to captivate an audience, whether it's good or bad, but he knows how to do that. And and like I've heard him say, once you tell a lie enough, it becomes the truth.
Hold on a second. What?
And now we understand though, and Conscious Moron, he said it perfectly. And I want to get Kulu in there as well, is that when Biden was doing whatever things that we disagreed upon, we all disagreed about it. And we was able to say why we disagreed.
My bad, I'm back.
Yeah. And so that's the thing. When Joe Biden was doing things that we didn't agree on, we was able to say we disagree about it. Hey, we don't like what you're doing in schools. I actually took my kids out of school because of the things that they was trying to push. And then also when Trump got into office, he started doing some nonsense as well too, talking about indentured servants. Ain't no such thing as slaves. So he started doing nonsense as well inside the school as well. Yes, that was your boy Trump that did that. So both parties are doing some nonsense. The difference is that when Biden was doing his nonsense, we was able to speak about it.
And can I speak in for just 1 second? Black people was speaking up about the things that Biden was doing, but it got drowned out by the rainbow. And when I say rainbow coalition, I'm talking about the gay agenda. It got drowned out by the gay agenda. Remember, there was a lot of things that Biden promised on his road to the White House about helping out the black community. But none of those things came to fruition throughout his entire presidency. It was all about the gay agenda.
Right. It could have been
years.
about the gay, whatever the situation. But the thing is that we was able to talk about it.
Yes, we
As
was indeed.
long as you wasn't trying to be derogatory versus towards other people, it was okay for you to speak about it and speak your opinion. But now we are in a position where you cannot speak your opinion, right? We also had the, Dave Chappelle. He did a very good skit where he was talking about his good friend that was a T person, that was a comedian that wanted to, beautiful. It was great. And so now we are in a position where our comedians that are known for being comedic can't even do one joke.
Well, you got to remember,
it wasn't even offensive. It's not like what he said was actually offensive.
Well, you got to remember, it was doctors who was losing their practice and losing their license just because they wouldn't address people by their pronouns. You had doctors who was suing the government because they was going against their Hippocratic oath, because these people who said that they had these mental health issues and they wanted to be addressed a certain type. My big black ass walk into the doctor's office and say, "What up, bruh? I want to be known as a female." And the doctor, Sharon, would be like, "Excuse me, sir. As a doctor of anatomy who practices medicine, I cannot go along with that. Well, I'm going to get you canceled." So then I go to Twitter or Reddit or whatever, and I start video camera. Your offer is going off in there, and now here comes the gay brigade. They like, "Oh yeah, Sharon, he's a fascist. He's homophobic. He's transphobic." Next thing you know, you lose your practice. So just because you don't want to lose your job, but you want to protect the sanctity of your job, and you don't want to participate in compelled speech, now you're going to get canceled. Not only are you going to get canceled, you're going to get shamed. We're going to dox you. We're going to track you down. We're going to make sure no one hires you. And this is what was happening during the Biden administration. A lot of people couldn't even speak out, whether it was on Twitter, social media, even in real life, because people was in fear of being canceled.
Okay, so now we're talking about policies that happen in medical facilities. But right now, what is happening is not happening to people in medical facilities. This is happening to people that are just speaking out in public, that speaking out on Twitter, say, "Hey, I think Charlie wasn't such and such and such." Fired. That is a completely different thing. Somebody just for speaking their opinion on Twitter, fired. Somebody that just said a joke on, which is their job to tell jokes and take jokes on both sides, you fired. Goddamn sports commentators, they're fired. Like, so this is a lot different from a hospital policy that maybe is getting a little confused back and forth with the rhetoric that can be and what not to be said, which is understandable. This is why a lot of people did not agree with it, and that was all across the board, which we all here agree that everybody was be like, "Nah, that's wrong." Nobody agreed with Joe Biden administration or whoever pushed that agenda out. Nobody was agreeing with it. Nobody.
Well, you got to remember,
that was Biden, though. That had to be the hospital's policy. Like, Biden wouldn't have any control over that. That would be a hospital trying to implement its policy, and either the doctors adhere to it or they go elsewhere. That has nothing to do with Joe Biden, though.
Right. So even in 2025, and I'm pretty sure everybody here has signed a contract before, social media is a part of your contract wherever you work at, right? So I was working for a very progressive company at one point in time during the Biden administration. And when I was working for this very progressive company, they had people who would scour your social media. And I, as a conservative black man, I couldn't go and post on my social media, "I don't understand why we are celebrating the pride flag when we have Black History Month." So what happened was, and this is a true story, I still got the email. Shut up. I still got the email. During Black History Month, they had a round table of all of the black managers within the company, and I said, I don't understand why we are only selling a few products and we have no notarization for black history. There's no Harriet Tubman, there's no Marcus Garvey, there's no Huey P. Newton, there's no Frederick Douglass, there is no Malcolm X. We're not doing nothing for Black History Month. So then Pride Month came around and they gave us mandatory rainbow wristbands and mandatory rainbow shirts that we had to wear for the month of Pride. And I was like, can I speak up for a second? They was like, sure, Mr. Will, what do you have? I said, I don't understand why it is that during Black History Month, we only sold cookies, baked goods, and a pop. I said, but for Pride Month, y'all want us to fly the rainbow flag. Y'all want us to wear rainbow colors. I said, what if I am not a person who supports the gay agenda? They said, well, if you want to continue to work in here, then you'll just follow along. And I was like, really?
So you're saying your company implemented these things, not Joe Biden, because he didn't call your company and say, hey,
absolutely.
But June, you got to sell all this stuff. You got to make them wear this, right? Your company decided to do that. So you can't just blame Joe Biden for that.
No,
How is that the government's fault?
I'm not blaming Joe Biden. I'm blaming the temperature of the country because of Joe Biden. And that's
you blaming the people?
Who else is there? What do you mean?
So how is it our fault that we were afraid? Like, that was the people. Like, you started trying to equate this to Joe Biden's presidency. How does that have to do with our temperature, his presidency?
Joe Biden was in the office, and he the one that was leading the country. He's the one that was pushing the policies. He's the one that was pushing the agenda. And from his office on the first day, he said that he would fire anybody if he gets any notification that anyone is being obtuse to the Rainbow Coalition or any other of these different nationalities or ethnics that was within the country. He would have a serious problem with it. He didn't mention black
on the federal level.
Well, hold on, wait.
You have federal jobs. He can't fire anybody who work at Arby's.
I got you, but here's the problem. If you have a whole bunch of progressive, liberal, left-leaning leaders in a position of management or CEOs for a company, if that company is a progressive ran company and you are a conservative man, do you want to risk losing your job just because you're a conservative? This is the job that you use to pay your family, or do you speak up and risk losing your job?
It depends on how much you make.
Absolutely.
If you work at Arby's, you could risk it. But if you
at that time,
it might be something different.
Well, at that time, I was making around like $89,000 a year. This was at that time. This is before I got promoted and I became a general manager. So
you're trying to implement your jobs policies from the government. Like Joe Biden never stated that if you have an employee who is anti-LGBT, then you must fire it. And if you don't, the government will hold you at some repercussion. Joe Biden never stated that, but that's what Trump is doing exactly right now.
No, that's not what Trump is doing. What Trump is doing, no, that's not what Trump is doing.
And I can tell you why. I get when you're ready. I'll tell you why.
But that's not what Trump is doing. So you mean to tell me that right now in 2025, Trump is saying anyone that's not a conservative, they lose their job?
No, Trump is saying if I don't like what you say, I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm gonna find some ways to get rid of you. And this is how he did it with his FCC chair, Brandon Carr. Brandon Carr went on the radio station and a right-wing podcast and said ABC can either do this the easy way or the hard way.
Right, and who owns?
And what happened a day later?
Who owns the company? Who owns? Who's the parent? Who's the parent? No.
Disney. And this is the thing, because Disney. ABC is trying to acquire some more affiliates. And guess who has to approve that deal?
Disney.
SEC. No, the SEC has to approve that deal. Yeah. So they got to play ball. And that's what Brandon Carr told them. And what did they do? They played ball. And that's the problem. When the government gets into our freedom of speech, that's the First Amendment.
Oh, okay. So during the Biden administration,
right now.
So during the Biden administration, our free speech wasn't impacted when they told us that we couldn't use certain words.
No, that was that company.
So really,
hold on. That was that social media company telling you could. But Joe Biden never got into it. That's what the First Amendment is. That the government can't come into our freedom of speech.
Sir, that's
private entities can.
Sir, that's a whole entire lie. They literally was blocking people off of social media because they was participating.
Hold on. Let me try to clear it up. So the difference is that the social media company didn't want people to speak on it because they were scaring away money.
No, that's not what happened.
With Jimmy, the government rained down and say, hey, we the FCC, we can make this very difficult for you. And you either fire this person and make him apologize, or you're gonna find out, you're gonna F around and find out. That is the difference. Now, if the government or the FCC would have went to Twitter or went to Facebook or
that's exactly what happened.
But you don't have no proof of the FCC.
Yes, I do. The Twitter files. Tony Golden just said it right there. The Twitter files. Have you never read the Twitter files?
Yeah, I
So
seen
you
that.
saying
Nothing came of it.
No, that Joe Biden and his administration went to big tech and said, get rid of these people who do not agree with our language. That's literally what they did. And they have proof of it. This is why Twitter, when Elon Musk bought Twitter, I can't remember the former owner of Twitter, but he said Elon Musk just bought a crime scene. And when they went through all of Twitter, they literally show all of the proof that the government, along with Joe Biden's administration, along with the FBI, the CIA, and other forms of government, literally was compelling people's speech. They was literally sending out directives. They literally had a whole entire disposition. They had a whole entire meeting with the former Twitter execs and Jack Dorsey, that's his name. He came up there and he told the truth. Mark Zuckerberg came out there and he said, yes, the Joe Biden administration told us that if they didn't like what people were saying, we had to ban them. Even right now, do you know Facebook is on the roll right now for compelling people's speech when it came to the read between the lines on what I'm about to say, marketing to minors about Meta. Look at Roblox. Roblox is they're getting lawsuits after lawsuits because Roblox was pushing an agenda. All of this happened during a Bidenism. I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't know it, but in the entirety of the Twitter files, it shows everything.
What was the journalist's name?
Hold on. But the problem is that you talking about Twitter, like, so they lost a Twitter account.
No, it wasn't Twitter. It was.
Hold on. They lost Twitter accounts. They didn't lose their job. They didn't get kicked off a $16 million a year job. People was not getting fired from the military just because they made a Twitter post. So this is the problem that we are trying to get you to understand. That is it possible that Biden was pushing the line? Absolutely, we're not going to disagree with that. But what we're saying that now it moved up to another level where people are losing a livelihood because they said they disagree with somebody because of their opinion. And this is literally their opinion because they're not any political, they don't run no organizations or anything like that. You know, like Charlie Kirk, he had an organization, so his was a little bit different compared to the local G.I. Joe that just have an opinion, like the one that is on TikTok, that he lost his job as a whatever his position was in
the Marine recruiter.
And this is what we're saying, that is the difference. And now they are taking it to a new level. You ain't just losing your goddamn Twitter account. You're losing possibly your life.
But that's what I'm saying. But hold on, wait, Kulu. That's what I'm saying though. Just to speak back to it for 1 second. The reach extended further beyond Twitter. This is why when Elon Musk went through and he was doing the investigation, this went to companies, this went to organizations. A lot of those Fortune 500 companies was in on this as well. Joe Biden's administration had finances, had economies in a chokehold because of the gay agenda. I'm telling you, you should really go read. By the way, the journalist's name is Matt Taibbi.
Okay, I also want to get Kulu in there. Go ahead, Kulu.
Yeah. So I think y'all are both right. Two things can be true at the same time. As I think we're a little off. For example, like if I recall correctly, I think a lot of people got their Twitter accounts or got banned or got suspended on YouTube or demonetized was because they were, according to the scientists, which we know now, there's different forms of being able to heal a person's, sickness, that they were preaching, different medicines. And at the time, when, C-19 was going rampant, I'm assuming they were afraid of people like doing stuff to hurt themselves. So you had a lot of doctors and medical people and even, people who had YouTube channels got suspended, lost their social media because they were pushing alternative medicines outside of what the mainstream science was saying. So I do agree with that. Where I think that we're a little, not seeing eye to eye is that Biden came into office in 2021, right? So this censorship started December 2019 is when the first COVID thing happened. And then all the way through, the whole election, this happened underneath Trump's presidency, but where I think the problem is that Jack, what's his name? Jack Dorsey, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey.
Yeah, he was a Democrat completely. So I'm not saying that, that he didn't censor people from Twitter, or that didn't have a hand in YouTube. But I also think that we're missing a big point, is that I don't think it was more so what they said. Like, for example, I don't think it's more so what Jimmy Kimmel said or what people have said about Kirk or about the C-19. I think it's more about the reaction that people had to it that got them in trouble. For example, right? It's the amount of people emailing, calling, tagging, writing these companies about what they have problems with, that, in my opinion, made these companies aware to fire the people, right? So, for example, if this Kirk situation didn't happen, right, and he just had a normal situation, and Jimmy Kimmel joked about somebody else, passing or something like that, would he have got fired? I don't think so. You know what I mean? I think it's the reaction that people had to the assassination, and mainstream, from the Trump administration down to all, because basically all the mainstream media were basically, outside of a few people that got fired, they were all in lockstep about this is bad, and it was bad. You know what I mean? That it's horrible, this shouldn't have happened. So I think that it was the reaction that got these people fired. But I think that we have to keep the timeline correct when it comes to, it happened in late 2019, all the way throughout 2020. People were being censored for their difference of opinion. I don't know about the pronouns and what happened at your company specifically, but I do remember that doctors, scientists, people who had platforms were getting demonetized and all that due to having a different opinion. But I also wanted to, hop back on the word woke as well, because would you consider this, being woke? Like, let's say we're in the,
if you're asking me a question, give me a second.
Okay. But like the panel can answer it too. A person, let's say we're living in the 1700s. A person who wanted to abolish slavery or end slavery would be considered woke in today's, terms of woke.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so woke is just being progressive or doing something against the norm, I guess, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So you had John Brown.
Example, by the way, I just wanted to give him props for that. That was a great example.
Most definitely. You had John Brown, Thaddeus Peterson, Harriet Tubman. You had a lot of people who was a part of the abolitionist movement and the anti-federalist government movement that really wanted to get rid of the Southern Democratic Fascist Slavery Party. That's what they was doing. So when John Brown, Thaddeus Peterson, and Harriet Tubman went to Frederick Douglass, they asked him for his hand in freeing the slaves in the South. Frederick Douglass says, as a free man, I have no business with a slave man. So he turned his back on the black people. So they went, and this is where a lot of people really don't pay attention to Bloody Kansas. Bloody Kansas is really the start of the Civil War. Some people say that it was the actual Civil War. No, Bloody Kansas was prior to that. But anywho, you get to the day and age where the South, they concluded all of their slaves as property. And when they concluded all of their slaves as property, they made them vote. We all know this. This is a common practice. This is a common knowledge that we all know. So the North, the anti-federalist government, the anti-federalist movement, and the abolitionists went to war with the South because they didn't want to give up their slaves. That's literally all it was about. So
would you call those Democrats conservative because they wanted to keep things the same? Like, would you call those Democrats that wanted to uphold slavery conservative, and the Republicans that wanted to free them, would you call them progressive Republicans?
I would call them. I would call them. Are you talking about back then, like 1619?
Yes, back then.
No, I would call them socialists and communists, especially because of where they came from, the Spanish, England, and all this. And there was socialism. I mean, if you really want to go back before that, you have to go back to like 1526. When the very first ship arrived in the Americas, what was known not the Americas back then, but had 100 slaves on it. When the first slave arrived at Jamestown, Virginia, in 1619, it only had about 30 slaves on it. So they were socialists, and they wasn't capitalists. They wasn't a part of the what am I? I'm missing my word. I have a child standing next to me, so I got to clean up my language. They wasn't a part. Yeah, I got kids flowing around me, so I got to clean up my language a lot. But yeah, they wasn't
I
part.
like Will when he got kids around him.
Hey man, look, hey, clean that language up. First of all, I am a father, okay?
I love it.
Don't say it like that.
I love it.
Yeah. So today, in today's 2025, right? It's a few things I wanted to speak to. I got like 20 more minutes. Also, I seen you said the link was in the chat. Did you put the link on your community tab?
I put the link on the community tab as well. Yeah, it's on the community tab, and also I believe Big Bad Bull. He dropped the link that I think you could click on.
You can't click the link in vertical.
But I think somehow he did it. But
it worked from vertical.
I think so. I think Big Bad Bull.
How?
I'm not sure, but I pinned it to the top just in case because it looked like it was clickable, and it's also on my community wall. So if anybody want to click the link, go to the community tab. I have it posted there, so you can hit the link much easier.
Mm-hmm.
So, go ahead, Conscious Moron, you back?
Yeah, I just got back, man. I just got back, so I'm falling back into it. My fault.
Yeah, man, this is a great conversation. I think what is the issue now for me is that it went to a new level, and it seemed like a very dangerous level that we are at today. When anything against the regime, it seems like you're going to get canceled for real. This is not a play. This is not a Twitter cancel. Before they were just canceling people on Twitter. It has seemed so serious. It's going like, hey, you can't say that kind of cancel. But now it's like livelihood type of canceling, and that's a scary thing.
If it was just, hey, I'm on camera. Do not walk behind me. Okay.
We can't see nothing but your big ass anyway. So
that's why I zoomed my camera in. But thank you for looking at my ass, sir. I don't think you should be looking at my ass. Sir, conscious moron, stop complimenting my ass, sir. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you got the whole world in your head, brother.
My mans, listen, do me a favor, all right? Leave look, what they say on Boondocks, sir, leave my booty alone, okay? But no, so it like, and I really hope you go have a look at, or at least it's long, but I say watch the clips from the Twitter exchange from the former executives and Congress, and how that reach didn't just reach social media. It went further beyond that because it was like really deep. They was going after small businesses, and they was really telling them either you're progressive or you're fired. We won't fund you. And that's how it was. So I'm not going to hark on that. A lot of people don't believe it, but I say go watch it for yourself. Now, as far as today, this is something that you said I want to speak to. It's not far-right extremism yet. Far-right extremism is not here yet. I would say right now we're in the hot zone to going into far-right extremism. And the only reason I say that is because, cleaning up my language on your platform, a man just got shot on live TV. We're almost there. We're not there yet. No, we're not there yet. Far right extremism is when they go start picking off folk. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like when they go start actually picking off folks, then we in for no.
Because even within themselves, like with the Nick Fuentes boys, I think it's groupers or gropers. That's what they kind of trying to equate this dude to, man. But you know how Nick feel about Charlie or felt.
Well, Nick
like, man, we got to stop this, y'all. Let's end this beef, man.
The problem with
the truth and everything, bro.
The problem with Nick Fuentes is that he's not even far right. He's just gone. Okay, he's gone.
Though. His face is grown. When you say that,
well, the problem with Nick is that he's a white supremacist. You see what I'm saying?
Growing. I didn't even see brothers like, yo, Nick,
I got you.
Like telling the truth.
I got you. I got you, but let me just say this real quick. Nick is he's a white supremacist. He's not even right. He's just a right supremacist. I would even go so far as to say he's a racist. But Nick understands the climate that we are in. If he goes nuclear, he will be gone. I'm not talking about losing his life. He will be gone. But then you look at someone from the left side and you go puppy. You look at someone from the left side who's an influencer, someone like Destiny. This is someone a great example I always like to use. Destiny has like a huge following. You have other people who have like Sync. Sync has a huge following as well, right? And when you look at these people and they are saying, I'm sorry, Sharon, did you want to say something? Okay, but when you look at these influencers and they are saying delete these people, when there's clips of Destiny saying yes, by all means, conservatives need to be deleted, they need to be exorcised from the country, and then Destiny's on his own show and they asked him about Charlie Kirk and he said, no, Sharon, you muted. I don't know if you're trying to say, but you muted to all hell. You muted. Sharon, are you having personal conversation?
Yeah, I was.
Oh, my bad, dog. I was wondering. My bad. But
Like
no.
you were looking directly at it.
Yeah, that's you see, that's why I was getting threw off. Like, okay, am I saying the wrong thing here or something like that? But right now, the way it is, like you look at these, and let's just be honest. Charlie Kirk was not a politician. He was a civilian, but he was also an influencer. That's just the honesty. No. He was an influencer, and he influenced a lot of young people to vote in the election. You have to look at, in this last election, that was the most, in that age group, that was the most people who ever voted Republican in this in the history of the United States.
And so we can't say that he's not a politician because he started or he was part of some kind of funding of a political movement that was pushing for young.
He didn't start
to be a part of the voting process, right? And he was out there pushing it and saying, hey, this is how we communicate and this is how we're going to move the country forward. So he is absolutely a part of the political party. He didn't have a political seat, so I would agree directly he didn't have a political seat. However, he only pushed political views. He was once one way, and then as he got stronger in his message, he started to lean tighter into that conservative Christian nationalist type of rhetoric, and he did a really good job at pushing the agenda that he wanted and how he had a vision for society to be.
When Charlie Kirk first started speaking in 2012, what was his position?
And DEI is bad.
Huh?
DEI is bad. That's what I know.
No, that wasn't his position. That wasn't his position in 2012.
Young white males become conservative. I think it's massive, but it was always Christian based.
Yeah, it was always Christian based for sure.
It was always
in 2012, it wasn't Christian based. It wasn't.
That's fine, but we are talking about
this is my thing though, right? Wait, hold on.
I want you to tie it into that he's not.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get to.
Tie it into how he wasn't political, because no matter what,
that's what I'm trying to get to.
2012 got tied into how he was not political presence.
That's what I'm trying to get into. So the thing was, in 2012, when he first started speaking, he was literally all just about debating. You got to remember, he was very young when he started speaking out in 2012. He wasn't I'm super this, I'm super that. He was just debating. And actually, if you want to be honest, he was very immature as well, because you remember Fight Club? He was like that in 2012. But at least a little bit more cleaned up. Nah, I'm just being honest with you, because his behavior was well off. So now we get into where he start finding God. He start getting a little bit more influence, and then he start getting into these political arenas where they would bring him in, and they would be pretty much showing him like, hey, this is what you need to be saying. And let's just be honest, he was leaning into it. He became what he was today because of his that's why I said he is not a politician. He's a political person, but he's not a politician.
I'm gonna have to disagree.
He's a political influencer.
Political power.
No, he's a political influencer.
I'll tell you why. That TPS, how many registered voters does it have? That is a guaranteed voting block, and that's what politicians love. Just like the Democrats love black women because they're a guaranteed voting block. That's what Republicans love. Young white people registering to vote. And think about college people. So it's always going to be new and fresh recruitments. And then even if I could have you and your homeboy go and talk to your homeboys about this. So that's what I'm saying.
If it was only
telling me those voters that he registered wouldn't have voted the way he told them.
If it was only white men, I would agree with you. But it wasn't just white men. No, hold on. If it was only white men and white women, I would agree with you.
Yeah, but I'm saying the majority of TPS.
No, the majority of TPS is not white men and white women.
What is it?
It's not. Go look it up.
minorities?
Nope. Go look. You said who?
Minorities. Minorities.
No, it's definitely not minorities either.
Black man?
No, hell.
Well, who would it be then?
It is young. It is a very diverse young group of people. To be honest with you, I would say that majority it would be Southern Christian. They don't identify as white. They identify as something else. Give me a second. No, I'm telling you, it wasn't Spanish. No, because it's not Caucasian.
They indigenous.
Hell no. Hell no.
Here's the thing, so
Hell no.
I believe that he was absolutely 100% a part of the political world, the political party, because Donald Trump set him up with his wife in the first place. We know
What?
that his wife was we know his wife was a part of a beauty pageant, and she won Miss Arizona, I believe. And we know who was running that beauty pageant. I believe the chairman of this thing, his name was Donald J. Trump. And so we also know that they became, first they started off as business partners because she went to go interview for this political party that Charlie Kirk was pushing out there, the agenda, the turning point. She tried to go for a job there. And you know what she said? She said, you know what? You're not going to be my boss. You're going to be my husband. Where do that happen at in goddamn interviews? I don't know.
So they met in Bill's Burgers in New York? That's not Trump.
Hold on. Am I building on something I cannot prove? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Am I trying to connect some dots that's possibly true? Absolutely.
Filibustering like a motherfucker.
All I'm saying.
Yeah, that's a hell of a reach.
Hey.
That's a hell of a reach.
He was in the pageant. I did see that video.
You know what I'm saying? Call me the Fantastic Four, goddamn. Call me the leader of Fantastic Four.
That was a good
So
one.
what I'm saying is that, hey, listen, that lady, she was already a very wealthy woman before she was richer than Charlie Kirk when they met. She knew Donald Trump before they met. And all I'm saying is that things are all connected in some strange way. They was pushing that man to be a political power. I don't know if he was trying to be a political presidential power, but he was definitely working his way into some strong governor, senator type of a position. And he had the back of Donald Trump. When once you got that, with how the MAGA situation is going, he would have got a very strong chance to be elected as some kind of political official.
I heard
Gotcha.
Man, my stretches be crazy. Though.
Yeah. Hey, listen, listen. If that is the most like far left conspiracy I've ever heard in my life, but you got it, big homie. You got it. Yeah, you know what? I'm not about to argue with you. I got like 15 more minutes. So really quick, where we are in the country today, right? Because I know we've been filibustering a little bit, but I want to push the conversation forward. I think where we are right now, it's a turning point in the country, and I'm not using that as a pun, but it's a turning point in the country where you have people who are influenced who are saying Donald Trump needs to come on live TV and tell everyone to calm down. My thing is, why would we believe that the left would listen to Donald Trump now when they've already tried to get rid of him twice? Not to include when this thing first popped off, and I really do hate myself for even watching it live. When that shot first hit that man, I'm not gonna lie, because of my biasness, I immediately said that was from the left. People was like, oh, it's a black person did that. I said, no, a black person did not do that. I said it was a white person that did that. And now that we have the text message history, now that we have the family's statements about the history with Tyler Robinson, we know that he had a falling out with his father because his family is Mormon Christian the right way to say that? Or is it just Mormon?
You could say it might be Mormon Christian.
Okay. So Mormon Christian, his family was Republicans and there were Christian Mormons. I think that's the right way to say it. And he rebelled against that. He went, and I'm not going to say anything crazy on your channel, but he went with his orientation the way that he did. And now that we have the history of how it is that he left that family and that political party and how he joined the left, and that conversation that they had at dinner when he said that he hated Charlie Kirk, we now get to how we get to where we was last week, where he ended up on that rooftop and he put that thing up in his neck. You see what I'm saying? So,
Well, if he wasn't raised around firearms, right, and he wasn't taught how to shoot, you think he still would have been able to do that, or Charlie Kirk would be alive today?
so there's two things I think. You know, I was a weapons specialist, and it was a few guys that's up on my channel. One of them is a vet, another one is he's a hunter. But we as soon as we heard the shot, we was like 30-6. Like we still got the live up. We was like 30-6, and my guy that's a vet, he was like, that got to be 250, maybe 300 yards away. So we start. I hate to say this disgustingly, we start mapping out where the shot come from, how far the shot was, and all this, that, and the other. Come to find out, we was pretty much right on the money. It was within 300 yards. It was definitely a 30-6. The only thing that we didn't guess was the gun itself, which was a Mauser 98. I don't think he made that shot because he was raised around weapons. I don't think he made that shot because of his skill. I think he made that shot because that weapon is guaranteed up to 500. So, including, because we already mapped out the rotation of the earth, wind speed, droppage, on that and the other. That was a accidental. I think he meant to hit him in the chest, and it just so happens he got him in the neck. That's just me being honest.
What I think, Will, so I agree with you. He did aim for the chest. He did hit the chest. What I believe he hit was a metal bulletproof plate, and that's why it ricocheted into his neck. And the reason why I believe that it ricocheted into his neck is because the way how usually when an entry wound is very small and the exit wound is very big. And since when it hit his neck, it came out directly the way how it had, I believe that it was a ricochet off of his metal plate. Because you know the metal plates, they kind of have that swoop in like this, and which is why you probably know that those places not really good for law enforcement. They want the ones that's a little more flat, and also you got to put some kind of cloth in front of it so it can actually catch the impact instead of ricocheting off, especially ricocheting up. So I agree that he shot him, he hit him in the chest. I believe it hit his plate and it ricocheted into his neck. And I got a video to show you to prove my point.
Hold on, wait. Are you about to show the video of him bleeding? Please don't.
Not. But
okay.
I do have one though.
Well,
absolutely
it's not. I got that. I got that video, and when I played it on YouTube, they immediately took that shit down.
Okay.
But no,
and
the reason.
Also want to say before, welcome to the show. Good day, Supreme Goddess PhD.
Good day, sir. How are y'all?
We doing well.
I'm here. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
Woo! We got Will to switch up his rhetoric a little bit, so I feel a little good.
Switch up my rhetoric? Nah, I ain't switch up my rhetoric now. I still okay. Can I?
Like
you want me to be super MAGA?
He was he was very right leaning.
Oh no, I'm still right.
Pushing a little closer to the middle of the wall. So I really like what he was saying. But PhD, what's your thoughts so far today?
You want me to be super MAGA while I'm up here? Okay, to hell with the left, to hell with the liberals, down with the left, down with the liberals.
I think you did good today. I think you did good.
All you, down with the liberals.
What's your thoughts, Diva?
Okay, I'm just a little confused. I didn't know Will was on the right, given the stories he used to tell us.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely on the right. He's far right.
No. What happened? No, I've said this. I've been saying this for quite. Like, you can go back to my very first YouTube video. I switched parties in 2009. Yeah, I joined the military in 2009. I switched parties in 2009.
Right after Obama got in?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the stories you used to tell over on Jay Prince channel.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. I just never really shared my political views, but yeah, I switched.
Saying, those two things don't really, they don't
add up, do they?
Yeah, because these people are very Christian and whatnot. Although I heard that it do be going down at Turning Point. The men with the women, the men with the men. What else?
Listen, have you ever been to a liberal shindig? They got other things going on. They got dudes getting done by women. They have a shirt that says "Pegging is my exercise." They say "Pegging is my cardio."
High, and that's the difference.
Bruh, it's crazy. Like
they gotta do it behind closed doors. The liberals don't care. They like, this me. You gotta love it or leave it.
Nah, the liberals say either you like trans lubricant or you don't, and I don't.
But all my life, never ever heard.
I'm being super MAGA right now. I'm just being salacious as possible.
Getting back onto the far right and conservative side of things. So you're not really a traditional conservative, I guess is what.
No, okay, so I was raised. I never really told anybody too much personal about me, but I'll tell you. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I was born in 1989. My family is staunch Democrat. And when I told them that I was going into the Army, they was mad as hell. The only person that wasn't mad at me was my father, but that's because he was in the Army. But 2009, when I joined the Army, I was getting ready to ship out. I was in Florida. I was in New York. I was getting ready to ship out. We had orders to go overseas, and I was under the impression that a lot of my brothers and sisters was coming home. A lot of my battle buddies was coming home, especially because Obama said his agenda is to bring our soldiers home. Well, I brought home boxes with flags, and it pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. I voted for Obama the first time because he's a black man. But after I start working for the government and I really start paying attention to how politics move, I didn't like politicians, and I hated Obama, especially because one of my very close battle buddies, his son is still alive to this day, and I was a part of the detail to really explain to his son that he wasn't coming home, and it pissed me off.
Okay. That was pretty interesting. That was very deep.
It still kind of rings out to this day. Like, again, I'll give you a little bit of personal. When I hear people be like, "Oh, you hate your people, you hate your own skin, you all this, that, and the other," like, I had a very deep, long, hard argument with a very close family member of mine this morning, and she pretty much called me a traitor. She's like, "That's not the way we raised you." I said, "But you raised me to love my people." She was like, "Of course we raised you, but here you are, you're not a Democrat. That's against your people." I said, "So just because I'm black, I have to be a Democrat?" And she shouted at the top of her lungs, "Yes!"
Well, that was out of anger. So,
this it wasn't.
I don't know how. So
it was different. You see what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like you've been seeing what I've been getting online. So it personally is different.
Let's try to bring it to because I want to try to take it off the personal you possibly can. However, a lot of the things that people were spewing that is a part of your political party, they say a lot of things that is very negative and incorrect about black folks, and this is why people say you are this is why people would say that you are a traitor, because you agree with those things. If you're not verbally going against the negative narrative of black folks, people are going to believe that you are against black folks.
So here's the thing. We've been in this YouTube game for how long now? I've been here for 2-3 years, but I've also been on social media for about 10 years, right? A little bit, no, actually like 15 years. So I was raised up under the teachings of Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, Huey P. Newton, all of these historical black figures, not to include Harriet Tubman, Sister Shahrazad Ali, all these people. I haven't heard anything different from what they said compared to what I've heard from Charlie Kirk or even some people on the right. The only difference is that from our community, we say it with more volition and more emotion. They say it from being either correct based on statistical data or incorrect because they're speaking from emotion. Now, it's a lot of things that Charlie Kirk said that I didn't agree with, that I had to go do my real own research, and I'd be like, yeah, Charlie was wrong on that one. But it's a lot of things that he said that I was just like, well, I heard Malcolm X say that before. I heard Martin Luther King say that before. I heard Huey P. Newton say that before. I heard a lot of these people. I've heard people on YouTube say that before. Huh?
Can you give us some examples?
That Martin Luther King was a bad person.
And Martin Luther King said that?
No. Martin Luther King didn't say that. People tons of people across social media, political figures.
No. You said that he said things that Malcolm X also said, that Martin Luther King also said, that I guess Harriet Tubman also said. So what are those things?
What are those things? Oh, great. So if I want to go with what Malcolm X, like one of the examples that Malcolm X gave was about black people following behind the leadership of liberals.
The wolves and the foxes, right?
There you go.
So what did Charlie Kirk say with regard to that?
That black people, that when it came to, he used Martin Luther King in this example, he kind of sistered him up with it, but he said that the civil rights bill was a bad thing for black people, and it's true.
Okay, but and so now how does that align with what Malcolm X said about, be wary of the white liberal, like them being untrustworthy? So just draw the parallel for me.
I didn't say that those exact words came from Malcolm X. I said that it's things that Charlie has said that I've heard Malcolm X say before. I didn't say that specific
so that's what
thing.
I'm saying. So bring it home, because like to me those don't sound like the same two things.
And I never said they was the same two things.
Well, you just said there are things that Charlie Kirk said that Malcolm X also said, and I'm asking you, give us an example of that.
I've given you an example, especially when it comes to liberal. But wait, I said when it comes to liberal leadership, and now you want me to match that up with Martin Luther King, and I said that Charlie.
I didn't say match it up with Martin Luther King. So you talked about.
No, I said Charlie matched that up with Martin Luther King, and I said he shouldn't have did that.
Okay, so Malcolm X said, talked about liberals and how the white liberals and how they are untrustworthy. Charlie Kirk said the civil rights bill was a mistake. How do those two things go together?
Did I say that Malcolm X said that? No, that's not what that's PhD, but that's not what I said.
You said that you heard that Charlie
I
Kirk
said I've heard things.
Malcolm X said. I said, give us an example. You said Malcolm X talked about the white liberals, and Charlie Kirk said the civil rights bill was a bad thing.
Right.
And so how do those?
Correct.
So how is what Charlie Kirk said, the civil rights bill was a bad thing? How does that align with Malcolm X?
Can you lean into your mic?
What she asks is how are those three things connected?
It's only two things.
Right. I'm not matching those two things up. I'm just giving examples of things.
For an example of
I don't have one. I don't have one.
Charlie Kirk
Nope.
also said.
I don't have one. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Because we misunderstanding what I said, and I'm misunderstanding what you asking. But nope, I don't have one.
Oh, because right. I mean that's okay to say, but
I'm about to get yelled at. How much time I got left?
Okay. Not much. Hey, we were just trying to get you to stand on something, my brother. It's okay. Like
I was trying to get there, but I need to understand what I'm being asked in relation to what it is that I said.
Well, we just want to understand what has Charlie said and what has Malcolm said that is the same, that you agree with. Or just
what has Charlie said, that has Malcolm said, that black people should definitely not be following liberal leaders.
Okay, so what exactly did Charlie Kirk say in that regard?
If I can tell you word for word verbatim, I would tell you, but I can summarize it.
We understand
that black people should not be following behind liberals.
That's it.
Being a conservative, he said that being a conservative, though, right? The liberal would be his natural enemy. So,
well, we got to.
That's not even the point. I just want to know what they both said that was aligned. Similar. Right.
Yeah. Right. So I can summarize it for you. I can't give it to you verbatim.
Okay, so at least do that.
I just did.
Okay,
Sharon, come on, bruh. You just asked me a damn question, bruh. Like, what are we doing?
I just want to make sure we clear. The only thing that they said was that, black folks should not follow liberals. That's what they.
They shouldn't. And then I will go with this one. The Civil Rights Bill was definitely a mistake for black people.
Why? Say that?
Because what did the Civil Rights Bill do for black people?
Got people to treat us civilly.
And if they didn't, they face repercussions unlike before.
That's what the Civil Rights Bill did?
Yeah. You remember what was happening before the Civil Rights Bill?
Nope, I sure don't. Nope. I was born in '89, sir. I don't know.
All right, so, know about history.
I'm a
So
I'm a stupid
I know
I'm a
something
stupid conservative, sir.
All right, something that Charlie said is that we was better off in the Jim Crow era. You agree with that?
That's not what he said.
All right, what do you say?
That's not what he said.
What he
It was
say?
in relation to the amount of crimes that black people done, and he said that black people during the times of slavery committed the less crimes. He didn't say we was better off in slavery.
Okay,
He
so
said we
what-
committed the less
So
crimes.
what he was saying that we was just less.
we commit the less crime doing slavery.
So what he was
Sorry.
saying, we was the least criminal. We was involved in the least criminal activities when we were slaves. Is what he was trying to say.
Based on statistical data, we had the least criminal activity as slaves. Yes.
They was keeping statistical data back during slavery.
No, that wasn't again.
Okay,
Again, but here's the thing. But wait, hold on. Here's the thing. Wait. Here's the thing. I didn't say I didn't. Wait. I didn't say I agree with him. Wait. Hold on. Wait. No. Wait. I didn't say I agree with him. I said it's tons of things that Charlie said that was wrong. But you just asked me what he said.
Hold on, I want to know: do you agree with that stat?
Do I agree with the statement? How many crimes was black people committing when they was under slavery?
I just
You
want to
mean
know:
Jim
do
Crow.
you
You mean
agree?
Jim
Do you
Crow, not
agree with
slavery.
Charlie Kirk?
The
Saying
question
that,
was not about Jim Crow. The question was about slavery.
okay, so do you agree with Charlie Kirk that that's when we was the least crime committing human beings? Is when that
How many crimes did black people commit under slavery?
It depends. If they
Thousands.
tried to run away, that was a crime. If
Okay, so running away was a crime. All right, cool. That's one. What other crimes did we commit?
they
The
murdered
rebellion.
their owners.
slave owners?
Okay, so murder is a crime, indeed. Okay.
Okay, so I just want to know.
They
So you,
sold
I just want to know. Wait, hold on. I just want to know. So you agree? You agree with it? Hold on. I just want to know. You agree with it?
What was the? Can I ask you a question? Well, wait. I don't want to. I want to be
You agree
disingenuous.
with it first. So
Do I agree with it? You know what? For fuck's sake, yeah, sure. Why not?
No, but I want to not. I don't want you just to agree. Just to agree. I want to know if that's something that you actually agree with.
Okay, I'll be serious for you. No, I don't agree with it.
All right. So why was that so difficult? Why we
Because Sharon, you have to understand. One, I can be a provocateur, I can be an asshole, and I can be honest. But I've already said it's a lot of things that Charlie Kirk has said that I do not agree with. I've already said that. I said that earlier.
Do you believe that Michelle Obama and Ketanji Brown had the brain capacity to be in the positions that they're in, even though Michelle Obama never ran in any political circle? Do you believe
But
that?
thank you for answering your own question. Michelle,
Yeah, Ketanji Brown, Sheila Jackson.
Ketanji Brown, listen, Ketanji Brown got in the position that she got in because of her record. And that statement that Charlie said, which was salacious about Ketanji Brown, but still proving effective to this day because Ketanji Brown's a bad justice. When it comes down to someone like Joy Reid herself even said on national TV that the only reason she even has a job is because of affirmative action.
No,
She said she's facing that opportunity because
that is not what we said.
Oh, so she didn't say the only reason she got a job is because of affirmative action?
She did
No,
say
not-
she's a product of affirmative action.
She did say that or she didn't?
No,
Yeah,
being a product
she said, but what she was referring to is that like she would not be able to get that interview if it wasn't for something as affirmative action. Not saying that.
So when you get an interview, you get a job, right?
Right. However,
Right.
she,
Oh, okay.
but she
interview, no.
was still qualified for the job. She's still like affirmative action and get her intelligence and give her all these other things that she had to acquire on her own. So that's what she was actually talking about, is how something like affirmative action gave her the opportunity to be in front of people that could give her the proper kind of job that she was looking for, because without it, it's a good possibility that she would have never got the opportunity, because we know for a fact for a long time it was not merit-based at all.
What wasn't merit based?
What?
What wasn't merit based?
Oh,
But, hey, man, do you know what the Rooney Rule is?
Yeah, I know what the Rudy rule is. I do. Nah, I'm not being funny when I say that. I do know what the Rudy rule is.
So do you not think it's the same thing?
When you say, "Do I not think it?" What are you talking about?
Like, do you think the Rooney Rule and the NFL enforce?
Go to your room. Go to your room.
Like,
Go to your
like
room.
if it's giving a person of color or whatever disability or whatever a chance to be in the interview room versus just giving them the job based off their skin color. Like when she said that, I don't think she said it. Oh, she was just, in the room and they picked her because she was black. She must have had the degree. She must have had the talents, the resume to be able to even get that job. Does
Well,
that
you
make sense?
gotta. It makes sense, but you got to remember there was this guy by the name of Nixon that pushed along the whole affirmative action thing that really just made people have quotas to where they have to be able to either interview or give people jobs based on ethnicity.
Well,
So-
actually, that started being struck down by the Supreme Court fairly quickly, right? And so, in order to have a quota, some very stringent conditions had to be met, right? And so, you basically had to be under a federal consent decree. And
Yeah.
the vast majority of companies were never under a federal consent decree.
But what was they doing? What was they doing during that time?
Hiring a bunch of white women.
Exactly.
Right, but
Because DEI was not for black people. Remember that, right?
well, we were talking about affirmative action, but because they were able to get it into the Civil Rights Bill, right? Sex is one of the protected classes.
Got you. And this
Right.
is why I say that affirmative action, and this is why I say affirmative action was bad for black people, because it did not give black people a look at their merit nor their experience. It gave black people a look at an opportunity just because of their skin color.
It's not just because of your skin color. When they were being barred, right? There was and they call it an inexorable zero. So there was an almost absolute bar for black people getting into certain schools, into certain
I'm coming.
jobs, that type of thing.
Got you. I would love to stay, but the kids is ready to watch our family movie. I appreciate y'all having me up here. Sharon, do not forget to call me. It's very important.
What's the movie y'all watching?
We about to get ready to watch a family movie. Look at you trying to be all in our business, just like a liberal. Just like a liberal. Damn.
Your ass is about to get
Listen.
cooked.
So listen. I need you to understand. No. Listen. I'm a
to peel that onion back, and you always hear about the.
I'm a father. I'm a father first, and though I do enjoy playing with y'all, having fun, and being part of the conversation, these kids, these babies come first. You see, that's why I gotta keep telling them to go back in their room, because they out here looking at me like,
oh, they finna fight you.
I'm about to get my ass whooped. You see what I'm saying? So, let me go spend time with my babies. Sharon, when you get done, hit me up.
I got you. I appreciate you for stopping by.
Y'all take it easy, and God bless you.
Pushed it up a little bit, but thank you for stopping by. It was very good banter, and you lucky AR didn't release himself on you. Oh, that sounded kind of crazy.
No, you had it right.
But yeah, AR was ready. Oh man, but I think it was interesting that he did change up a little bit, which is a good thing. People should, as new information come, you should change your rhetoric, and this is what it is. I think people getting fired for their opinions or jokes is crazy to me. That's just wild.
3 Degrees said they about to watch Birth of a Nation. You know what?
I got a couple of shows because I'm about to start the other show too. Goddamn, hold on. Yeah, I'm late.
Trish with a knife. What? $2.
Damn.
Shout out Sharon Hairline. Time to go to Turkey, fam. Damn. Benito Finito, $5. How's it different when people got targeted over Facebook posts during the pandemic? Say masks weren't as effective as pushed and people got targeted. Benito Finito, $2. Biden appointed a misinformation czar.
But I gotta go because I'm late to my other show.
Nothing wrong with being.
Hype me up.
Let me